One of the many times. All right, you ready to begin? Do you want to wait for Pops?
Linda, do you want to go ahead? Okay, go ahead. Yep. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, welcome. Thank you all so much for coming today. My name's Reynolds-Jonkhoff Rogers. I'm one of the directors here at Reynolds-Jonkhoff, and it's my honor to welcome you all as we celebrate this extraordinary woman. On behalf of Terry and the entire Mercer family, I'd like to thank you all for coming to show your love and support. Before we jump right in, are you okay?
Yeah.
And also, if you have a cell phone, if you could please take that out and turn it to vibrate or even better off or silence, that way it doesn't ring during our service today. Thank you. It is our hope that this service today sets a good foundation for the individual grief journeys that you will now all go on as you carry Michelle in your heart all the rest of your days. We are here also to celebrate and honor this extraordinary woman. a beautiful woman through and through with a great smile. Have you all heard of the poem The Dash? Well, I want to share it today because Michelle lived a heck of a dash from 1942 to 2024. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone, from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of birth, and then spoke the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all the years was the years of that dash. For that dash represents all the time that they spent alive on earth. And now only those who love them, many of you gathered here today and many of you who are out there in the world, know that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that can be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what's true and real, and always try to remember the way people feel. Be less quick to anger and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remember this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read, with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you spent your dash? I think we all can agree that Michelle would be proud of her great dash. She spent her entire life here in Michigan, embracing the beauty of all four seasons. As you all know, she dedicated her life to caring for others as a registered nurse for over 50 years. She generously devoted so much time to the Film Fest, the Comedy Fest, 5Ks, the Turkey Trot, and the Cherry Festival. And of course, she was a beach enthusiast. This beach glass she found, and she saved so that way she could share it with others. Everyone can take some, so please feel free to come up after the service and take a beach glass with you. Keep it, treasure it, think of Michelle often and smile. Or maybe even place it back on the beach so that way someone else can find it and smile. Michelle also took great pride in her 40 years of sobriety. She had a profound impact on countless people throughout her involvement with Alcoholics Anonymous. She had a beautiful tapestry that's framed on top of the fireplace over there, and she truly lived its words. Oh, and her sister made it, I hear. Am I right? Didn't she live her dash well? At this time, we're going to listen to one of her favorite artists, Kenny G. We'll see some pictures of her life, of that dash, and then afterwards, I'm going to invite friends to come to the podium to share their memories and their favorite stories. So let's listen now to Kenny G. So many great pictures. All right, I know the first person's always the hardest, and so I invited Jeannie to come first, and then after Jeannie, everyone's welcome to come up and share. Jeannie, if you'd like to come forward, thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Good morning, my name is Jeannie Aldrich. Can you hear me? Yeah. I've known Michelle for 24 years, but before, I'm going to speak today briefly for two people. And the first person I'm going to speak for today is Marilyn Vogel, who has asked me to speak on her behalf. She is full of grief and mourning for Michelle, and she is unable to come up here and speak. So I'm going to speak for Marilyn, and we had a brief conversation about what I want to say that Marilyn wants to say. Marilyn wants to say this: I miss you, Michelle. I was your partner in many activities, and they were. I saw Michelle and Marilyn together on many events in Traverse City. The film festivals, Lindsay mentioned, the Cherry Festival, marathons, and they were just two gals that had a wonderful time together, and they spent a lot of years together. And Marilyn says that she misses Michelle and she's going to miss her good buddy. So to see Michelle without Marilyn, or to see Marilyn without Michelle, actually is going to be somewhat shocking and also very saddening for us. But the good thing is that Marilyn was a wonderful friend and a shadow to Michelle, and vice versa. They were joined at the hip. So Marilyn, thank you for being such a wonderful friend and witness to Michelle's life. Thank you so much. Now for me, I'm going to speak for myself. I've known Michelle for 24 years, and I do want to quickly add that Michelle 3 weeks ago did celebrate 47 years of sobriety. Not 40, 47. And she was a pistol among friends. She left a mark on many of us in this room. She was perpetually active, running around like this little ever-ready bunny rabbit. You couldn't hold her down. And we always enjoyed seeing Michelle's sartorial selections, meaning how she dressed. She had these cute little fancy, colorful tops, and the top came down to just to her top of her thighs. Then she had these cute little tights, and her socks always matched her top. And she was just buzzing around town all the time, but she had a wonderful sense of humor, and she was very touching, and she was a great inspiration to all of us. I hardly ever saw her without a smile. She always took care of new people in this particular club and took them under her wing, and she was an inspiration to me, by the way, when I moved here 24 years ago. So when we saw her absence in this group of friends that we have here today, it was saddening, and we knew it was time for Michelle to meet our other friends up in the sky, at the big group in the sky that we know so well. But Michelle is going to be missed, and she had a wonderful memory up until a few months ago, or maybe a year ago, Terry. But she was a pistol and inspiration to so many of us, always happy, never slowed down, buzzing around the rooms. And so that's what I want to say. I'm going to miss her inspiration. So now it's going to be very difficult to replace her energy, which we probably never will, and her good humor, sense of humor, and her cute little colorful outfits. I'm going to miss that. So anyway, that's it for me. Thank you so much.
My name is Jackie Dorr. I am a longtime friend of Michelle's. We grew up together in Lansing area, and we shared our early sobriety in almost 50 years for me and 47 for her. And along with our other dear friend, Bobby, who was one of her all-time friends. I just want to let you know how much we all meant to each other, and we carry her spirit with us. It'll never be gone. So we went through many experiences together as nurses, moms, wives, And we shared with others constantly, and I'm sure we're all a testimony to that. And our one of our sponsors, I think, just cherished all of us because we were her curmudgeons that, we were dedicated to just carrying out the message of sobriety to others and carrying on the inspiration of the 12 steps and living our lives that way. And so when she passed away, one of our sponsors in '91, she had Bobby and I, and Michelle and I, do readings at her service. So we go back a long time. She, as her friend just mentioned, she was always an Energizer bunny, and we came up to visit her for one of the several times, but for one of the cherry festivals. And of course, she was working at the festival, and she would walk us around. She just prized herself in walking everywhere, and I just admired her so much for that. I remember when she was learning how to use an iPad, and that was way back, when the iPads were just getting started. She said, "I walked to the store and figured out more stuff," and I'm just amazed because I always had an Android for many, many years. And in the past year and a half, I got an Apple Watch and an Apple phone. So I have a lot more appreciation for learning a new, turning over from one thing to the other. But anyhow, Bobby lived in East Lansing for a long period of time, and we would go and have barbecues at her house. We'd walk from her place to MSU's art fair. And Claire would always say, "I miss going to Michelle's for the art fair," because we'd always have brunch and walk to the art fair together and have such a good time. And we just had all those great memories. And when we would attend different events, we would have go to conferences together. We would have our friend lived on the river in Eaton Rapids, and we would have all kinds of parties at her house. And when we got sober, we're in our 30s. So, we were thinking we're never going to have any fun. But, between those two and me, we just tore the place up. I remember that, I think it was at Debbie's house, another dear friend of hers who passed. Her son is here, and her granddaughter. We had those felt skirts, the poodle skirts and stuff, and we had a big party, and we were all dancing. We just had a blast, and just so many of those wonderful memories. So I want to thank Terry for being an awesome daughter. What an awesome daughter. She was so blessed to have somebody who has taken care of her in such a wonderful fashion. Everybody should be so blessed. And I'm just thankful for everything that you did for your mom and how you just carried out her wishes so well. And, we're just, and those are the things that carry through with the kind of life that Michelle led, because she loved you so much, and she carried that love forward. And to me, that is the best thing we can do, is be a light and love to others. I'm just going to finish with this. I would always be so taken when she would leave, and she would explain to first Touche and then Little Bear. She'd give them an in-depth, her dogs, explanation of where we were going and why we were going there, and when we would be back. And she'd look right at them and explain to them, this is where we're going. We won't be gone long. We're just going to walk down here. We're going to go eat, and then we'll be coming back. And so then when we get back, if you would like to go for a walk, we'll take you for a walk. Or, she was just hysterical. I just got the biggest kick out of that.
That's the very end.
Absolutely.
She didn't even have to go anywhere.
It was so funny. So anyhow, I'm blessed to have her as in my heart, and carry her forward to others and share some of the gifts that she shared with me. And I'm just grateful that I can be here to let you know how much she loved all of you and her family and her daughter and her dogs. Thanks. Thank you.
Uh,
You're gonna have to raise that.
hmm?
So you're gonna have to raise that.
Two things in my hands keep me. Anyways, I'm Joseph Sloan, and I've been a friend of Michelle's for many, many years. And I'm not gonna tell a lot of the stories, but when we were first becoming really close friends, and Mary had talked me, I had retired from work, and Michelle and I had been friends for a long time, but Mary talked me into doing some hours at the central office for Alcoholics Anonymous, and it was close to the house, and so she would walk up, and when I was there for a couple hours, she would come and visit with me and sit in a chair and talk to me and stuff like that. And one of our conversations, she was telling me about this trip to Florida, and she was being real serious, and she was telling me the events that were happening, and there was police involvement and things like that, and I looked at her and I couldn't help it but bust out laughing, and I thought she was never going to forgive me, and she looked at me. We both were just crying. I mean, we were both laughing so hard we were crying, because it sounded so silly. I mean, her action, she was telling me what she had did and all this kind of stuff. And I tried to be as serious as I could, and I was paying attention, I was giving her good eye contact and all that. I just couldn't help it. I just busted out laughing because it was just, and the behavior was so stupid. And here, I'd known her as this sweet, loving, kind lady, and then I heard this story from her, and I said, oh my God. And I just couldn't believe it was her, and I couldn't keep the straight face. But anyways, we, in the program, we live on Unity. We have like three-prong table or chair, whatever, and we have service, we have unity, and we have recovery. Those are the three things, and that we live by. And her biggest thing was service, and I was lucky. Mary also talked me into taking these crisis phone calls. I would get these phone calls, and I did pretty good with the guys. I brought quite a few guys. I could get them to meetings, go pick them up, bring them stuff like that. But I stunk with women. I mean, it was terrible. I'd get these calls, and so she, I blow it. I mean, one of the last ones I took, the lady was actually yelling at me. Like, what the hell, and I had totally blown this call, and I said, can you just wait 10 minutes, I'll have someone call you. And like I always did, I called Michelle, and I said, Michelle, you gotta bail my ass out on this one. Please, and she never said no. And then the next meeting I went to, the gal was in the meeting with Michelle when I got there. And that was about 10 years ago. And so I got another crisis call recently, maybe about 6 months ago, and I was trying to handle it, and I blew it. I still blew it, and I'd been with Michelle for years and years and years, and I knew she couldn't take the calls anymore. She couldn't take the call. So I called the gal from 10 years ago that she brought into the program, and I said, would you take this for me? And she said, absolutely. So that's just the tradition that Michelle established for us. What? Do they come take over for me, Bill? I can't, I just...
Hi. That's good. My name is Bill Bustins. I'm a friend of Michelle's from AA, and we had this other friend in AA. Her name was Midge. Well, I'm a hairdresser by trade, and also ran a boxing gym. So I used to do Midge's hair, and I love Michelle. And seeing the meetings, she was always so. The word I think about her is she was connected, and she promoted this connectiveness. And so anyway, so she said, Midge was trying to sell her on coming to me as a hairdresser, you know, and I thought so much of her that I asked my wife to do her hair, because I knew my wife would do a better job, communicate with her, not be such a pushy alcoholic the way I am. And so they got together, and she'd come in the salon, and we'd see each other at meetings, and, you know, I think of the people in AA, Michelle, me, everybody, the people in the room, and you know, we somewhere in life, I don't know, the anxiety, the stress, it gets to us, and so what we do is we chemically try and deal with that instead of doing it the mature way. But what happens is we come into AA, and we talk to other people, and we feel engaged again, and our actual chemistry changes. We produce this neurochemical of closeness, of engagement, of what Michelle did. And so, my wife and we've had 3 people that we love for, that were part of our family, that went down with neurological disorders, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. It's a rough-ass road to watch this connectedness disconnect. So, but I saw Michelle continue to come to meetings, and even sometimes it would seem like, you know, I mean, she was always there. But the second to the last meeting she went to, she read this thing called How It Works. And it's amazing that she read the thing perfectly. And all of us can stumble over this because it's hard reading. She read the damn thing perfect. And I went, wow, here's somebody that's not even getting the feelings. You know, they was digging for the words. And she got them. And the last time she came in, she stumbled a little bit, and I never saw her again. But God, what a great woman, you know. What a great story. She meant a lot to me, meant a lot to my wife, and a lot to everybody here, so thanks.
Here, I'll just bring it to you.
Because this is really short. But at Eastside, there were 3 M's: Mitch, Michelle, and Mercedita. And we all sat together all the time. We were all short. So when we sat on those couches all the way back, the 3 of us have our legs sticking out. And I'll never forget that. Thank you.
Very nice. Anyone else like to come forward? Yep, come on.
I'm short too, but not as short as Michelle. That's one of the reasons. My name is Julie Haplin. I worked with Michelle at Munson. For about 4 years, we were the educators, so we got to travel to all the different Munson offices for home health and everything. We had the best time. We made each other laugh like crazy, and it was just so fun. And then after work, we used to go to the gym at, what's the name of that building? I don't know what it's called. The hospital that's on the other side of town. It used to be Old Astio, yeah. We used to go to the gym and walk. I mean, we spent I can't even imagine the number of hours we spent talking. But she was awesome. And you know how I'm 74 years old now, and I retired when I was 69. You think back on the times where you worked and you had somebody you really, really were close to. Michelle was that for me. And we ran into each other at Olson's. Terry and Michelle were there grocery shopping. What was that, about 2 or 3 months ago, Terry? So I said, oh, Michelle, because I had moved away. And so I was so excited to see her. I said, oh, Michelle, I'm so happy to see you. And she said, where's the yogurt? So I knew that we were not there with Michelle right then, but she was just the awesomest person. And Terry, thank you so much for getting with me. I know it wasn't easy to find me. I try to, stay hidden, but you've made it. So thank you.
I just wanted to say my name is Mary Robbins, and I was a friend of Michelle's in AA. And just recently, I noticed her change with her, whatever you want to call it. There's something going on there. Well, but with Michelle, kindness, that's one thing. She was kind all the way through. And with her dementia or whatever, she would sit there in that back booth, and you'd walk in, and she would just smile. Never complain. And I'm going through this now with my mom, who is 103. And what I'm learning from Michelle, what I've taken to my mom is the kindness. When I want to just, where do you live for the 5th time in 5 minutes? Where do you, and to be kind, that is the hardest thing in the whole world. And where's my mother? And I go, Ma, you're 103. Chances are she's not here. But, and I think she's waiting for me. And just so many opportunities to be kind. And I see Michelle, and I go into that meeting, and you'd sit in the back booth with her for a minute before the meeting, and it was just smile, kind. And so and I'm probably with all of you here too. That's probably why you're here. She is just one of those little angels that probably from the time when she was little, and she kept it all the way through, all her dementia. And I pray, it's in my genes. Sorry, Ron. But I just hope I'm one of those kind ones, and I think that's what she would want us
I'm sure there are hundreds more memories and wonderful things to say, but I think we should continue on. Did everybody get one of these folders with the beach glass on front? If you didn't, please take one. And I wanted to read the poem on the front. You okay? On this day, mend a quarrel. Search out a forgotten friend. Discuss suspicion and replace it with trust. Write a love letter. Share some treasure. Give a soft answer. Encourage youth. Manifest your loyalty in a word or deed. Keep a promise. Find the time. Forgo a grudge. Forgive an enemy. Listen. Apologize if you were wrong. Try to understand. Flout envy. Examine your demands on others. Think first of someone else. Acceptance. Be kind. Be gentle. Laugh a little more. Deserve confidence. Take up arms against malice. Decry complacency. Express your gratitude. Worship your God. Gladden the heart of a child. Take pleasure in the beauty and the wonder of the earth. Speak your love. Speak it again. Speak it still again. In closing, I'd like to ask God to grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. As you depart from this place, and next time you find a piece of beach glass, think of Michelle and simply smile. I wish you all well, and thank you so much for coming. Please come up, take a piece of beach glass, and for Michelle, go green.